welcome back to my channel and welcome to day 9 of the Cracking Advent Calendar. So we're nearly at Christmas, so Merry Christmas. And today we're going to be working on this slightly smaller number. Now it is an Ammonite, and instead of cracking this one out, I'm going to try and just reveal and pop the middle part of this Ammonite. So we've got a lovely outer whorl of a Hildoceras Ammonite, but we can't see any of those inner whorls. They are still filled with matrix. So I'm going to bring you guys closer and we can get cracking. So this is the culprit in question. So we have this beautiful specimen, and I love that the Ammonite is actually in this larger block. I think it kind of sits really beautifully. So I'll probably make a little stand for it. Something like that, so it can sit on a shelf and you just have this lovely example of an Ammonite fossil. However, the sea has worn away the outer whorl, but not the inner whorls. So we can see that we've got some nice ribbing going on, but it kind of just stops here. So we don't know what's going on in the center, it's just all infilled. To reveal the center, I'm just going to be using my teeny tiny chisel, which is attached to my Dremel 290. So I'll link it down below if you'd like to get one yourself. But it just has this custom like little chisel nib. I don't know if it's focusing for you guys. Let me show you up close because it is so sweet. It's this teeny tiny chisel and it works brilliantly at removing excess matrix. So I think one of you asked, how do I know that I'm not scratching the fossil? Now you don't, obviously you can damage the fossil with this, but there's kind of, you can feel the difference in textures. So the matrix to fossil is different, so you kind of know when you're getting close to it. I can't really explain it, it's like a feeling in your hand. So don't worry too much about that, it comes just with practice. So maybe don't use a Dremel on your favourite find, practice just on some excess rock first, or maybe, you know, part of a fossil and go from there. But you can kind of control, and it is a tiny chisel, so you want to kind of lift the layers of matrix that are on the fossil and don't touch the fossil. So you want to like touch the fossil as infrequently as possible. But even if these fossils get a little scratch on them, a little coat of paraloid will hide that scratch. It's not the end of the world. You want to see as much of the fossil as possible. So yeah, don't worry too much about that. So that was actually a lot easier to prep than I was expecting. So it was a very soft matrix, but actually what it revealed is we do have some inner whorls, but we're in fact missing the very, very center of this Ammonite. So you can follow the Ammonite around, it goes around all the way to this point here. So this very, very center bit is missing. Now this can happen for a variety of reasons, but one of the common ones with Ammonites is that unfortunately the middle part of the shell is the weakest. So when they're preserving, you know, they might be lying on the seafloor for quite a while, it could just be that that part just breaks away. So these are kind of the stronger parts of the shell. So you never know with the center of Ammonites, and certain species are more susceptible to it. And it's kind of like if they get infill in their outer whorls, which is how you get a 3D fossil like this, you also sometimes don't, if it's fossilized a bit quicker, they're crushed before they can be filled with sediment, so then you get a completely flat fossil. Now I can show you an example of that. So if you look behind me here, these fossils here are completely flat. So there's nothing 3D about them whatsoever, so nothing has infilled the shells here. So they kind of died, fell, and got squished. And let me just pop that one back. Whereas these ones, the outer whorls kind of get infilled. So once the creature has either rotted away or been eaten, sediment would flow into the shell, which gives it that 3D effect and stops it from getting crushed in the fossilization process. But overall, I am so happy with how this one has turned out. And now I will show you what it looks like with a coat of paraloid. So I just use water to give an idea of what it would look like before I put the actual paraloid on. So I'm just going to brush just the fossil so we can get a little idea of what it would look like if I put a thin coat of varnish on this specimen. So I'm just going to go around the whorls something like that. So I think with this one, less is more. So I may actually not put any Paraloid on this, or I might put a really, really weak coat, because I think that almost darkens it too much compared to the excess rock. Although actually, now that I look at that, what do you guys think? Does that make it look better or look worse? Do you prefer the kind of natural ammonite in its rock, or making it a tiny bit darker? Because that's what it would look like with Paraloid, and that's why I love water, because you can actually see it before you put it on, so you can work out what's better for the fossil. And sometimes you have to put Paraloid on them because it's more of a protection layer than an aesthetic thing. So Paraloid actually works really great at consolidating the surface, so if it's a very weak fossil or very flaky, Paraloid is probably a really good shout. But no, very happy with how that one's turned out. So it may not have a centre, but it still is perfect to me. So that's how this one has turned out, and honestly, so much better than I was expecting. I was expecting it to be really hard matrix, a real tough one to use my Dremel on. That wanted to come out of the centre of this ammonite so easily, so it was a really fun prep to do, even if the very, very centre isn't quite there. So I do hope you guys enjoyed coming along for that one. But please like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's video. I'll link my social media down below if you'd like to follow me on there. But Merry Christmas to you all, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.